Oh, what's going on, guys? Dan here, DD Speed Shop. So, where we ended the last video, we were sanding. So, we've made a fair bit of progress getting the real ugliness out of the car. I'm pretty happy with the door. I'd say it's about 80% done. It probably needs almost glaze at this point. And some blocking. We got the roof. Kind of same thing, 80 or so percent. It needs kind of a fair bit of work, and that's fine tuning, I should say. That's what we're going to focus on today. I would like to get the roof, the drip rails, basically from here up, stupid tripping hazard, from here up, done in like 180 or 220. I got some high build primer, so that's, we picked that up today. Look at all this stuff we got. $500 worth of stuff. So this is high build, so it's essentially kind of body filler in a can, which I'm hoping will be good to fill in all the little ribs and issues we have there. So that's what we're going to focus on. I did try and get paint today, and the color I wanted, they couldn't find a listing for, which is a pain. I guess that's old car problem. So I want to go with a GM color, an older GM color, not factory of 55, but I think it would look pretty decent. Anyways, having trouble locating it. And the high build primer I got, they didn't have white, so I got gray. I wanted to do a white roof because, like I said, the roof is going to be white. It's going to be a two-tone car. So, yeah, that's the plan for today. I haven't started at all on the other side yet, doing the B-pillar or any of that stuff, and it had a bigger whammo on the roof. So I think step one will be loading up filler on both sides, and then when I bring it back, we'll be sanding it off. Sounds like a good plan. So grab a drink. You'll probably need one to watch me do body work, and let's get after it. I'm hoping, well, by the end of this video, I was going to say today, but movie magic, by the end of the video, I plan on having primer on the roof of this hot rod. Just every little bit. A lot of people were commenting as I was taking the paint down the doors, it started looking way better, and I couldn't agree more. As much as I like the Technicolor kind of look and stuff like that, having it all, even just in ugly bodywork, it looks more complete than it did just a few days ago. And I'm thinking as we start putting paint on it, or primer I should say, it'll really make a difference. So might be jumping a gun a little bit doing the roof, but that's what I want to do. Okay, so we're on the other side of this fine hot rod. I did, while the filler was drying, I went over and I kind of cleaned up the drip rail a little bit. This section right here is going to need a little bit of love. This is where we had to pull the roof out a whole bunch. We're going to use this sanding block again, and we're going to just kind of go drift it back and forth over these sections. I did put filler right in the void. But that's fine. We'll get the roof flat first, then we'll worry about this the little stamping. We're going to end up using this teardrop, and then I made this little piece over here. Well, I wouldn't say it's like a patent pending design or anything, but I took a paint stick and I put it on a longboard, just like this, and I kind of got the edges, and it just took it from like a standard kind of rough edge to a more rounded one. And then what we can do is just put some sandpaper in it, and then we get to the very bottom of the groove. At least that's my thoughts. The whole roof will need just a quick scuff with some like 220 or something like that once we get all the ribs taken care of and everything on the side. The big work's going to be this whammo right here. We got to get that taken care of. It'll probably take another coat of filler for sure, I'm thinking. And same within this section. And then really, not too bad. The roof, I'm just going to flatten out. There's a couple dents in the front section. We got that taken care of the last video. So it should be a couple hours of sanding. And then I think it'll be, good enough for primer. We're obviously not going to be perfect, but once the primer lays down, we'll also be able to see what I screwed up on. while, as per usual. Life happens and it's the next day. So I did do a little bit of work yesterday. Well, I did a bunch of work yesterday, but that side of the roof is basically done. I've got it all flattened out. I did the drip rail. I did some stuff like that. I just kind of fast forward and did it myself because it's a little boring. So again, the tools of the trade. I have this with, I believe this is 80, and a little one with 80. I then did that half of the roof just on that metal converting primer stuff with, I think it's 220 I had on the longboard. You just do the whole thing. No big deal. So here what I did, the roof is now pretty straight. I mean, obviously there's a curve in it, but from this is where it was all smashed in a few episodes ago. So you just kind of run the block each way, whatever it is, this and that. There's a little line at the bottom. I tried to get that as straight as possible. And on the underside, you know, a little paint stick, flatten there. And then once we get in, I'll have to kind of straighten that out too. But right now I thought I'd just kind of show you what I did here. So I just filled right over the little stamping rib body line type thing. So I'm just going to take this, again, I think it has 80 on it. We're just going to slowly kind of start at the top and work our way in. Now, I mean, keeping this somewhat straight is going to be important, but even though I welded up in there and I had to grind it out a little, it should still have like the sides, like a little bit of bumper bowl in here is what we're doing, but take your time. Actually, no, this might work a little better just to get the groove started. And try that. And once we start seeing the edges, then life will be a little easier. Yeah, that's the way to do it. So you can already see, hopefully, in the camera. I guess I am blocking it with my ripped body, but get in there. I think if one of these ribs is crooked, it will look horrible. So I'll keep kind of working away at this, and we'll switch into a little fast motion, I'm thinking. Get that all dialed, we'll get this taken care of, we'll block the roof out, and I think just kind of feel around a few spots. But I mean, I think it's pretty good. I'd like to get the paint on and end this video up and start working on the Nova in the other garage. So let's keep going. So, it's a little foggy in here. I blew the car off, so at this point now, the roof and B-pillars are down to 220. Pretty happy with them. I don't feel a whole lot of lumps or bumps in them. So, I blew up the car, I blew up above the car a little bit, and yeah, we're gonna have to do a little bit of cleaning. So everything is as ready as it's gonna be for high build. Whether or not that's the right step, it's what I'm gonna do, because honestly, I think I just want to paint the car. That way I have an excuse to stop working on it for a bit and go work on something else. So up in here we got, there's a few little kind of pinholes, stuff like that, but whatever. We'll deal with that at a later date. I want it all in one color and we can fix that sort of stuff up. These turned out pretty decent. And a little bit of filler in them. But primer hides all. So I think the next time you see this thing, I will sweep up the floor and I think I got some masking paper, tape, stuff like that. So I'll maybe just hang some around so it's not going to completely blow into the car. Not that it really matters. What am I worried about? And then we'll get mixing and we'll put down a few coats of high build. Should be a fun time. Back at it. So I managed to just put a little bit of masking on. We didn't do too crazy. Blew everything off, kind of cleaned it all. We're not painting by the rockers, so whatever. I blew up everything up here. That was the big important part. So yeah, it's clean, down to bare metal. Not much else to say about that. So I have this kind of direct to metal, whatever it is, primer, high build. Pretty simple instructions to say mix it 4:1 with this activator stuff. I had to make a little piece out of a pegboard. It was so separated, it was all chunky on the bottom. But pretty simple. This has a little thing, a little 4:1, so we'll use that. Mix up how many we got to mix. I got myself a new on sale priming gun. So it's got like a 2.1 millimeter tip or something like that. So that'll be able to handle this thick material no problem. Before I was doing my other gun, I had to really thin out the primer a bunch. It was kind of a pain. So I was like, it was like $60 or something like that. So I bought it. I'm sure the gun's not the best, but the painter's even worse, so it shouldn't matter. So we'll get set up, put on my mask, and we'll lay down a few coats. I think I'll probably put 2 or 3 on, and then that's where we're gonna leave this. Well, I'll probably unmask it and show off my handiwork and all the runs and how bad it looks. But I do have a lot of confidence it's gonna come out pretty decent. There's one little spot right here, which I'm not super happy with, but we'll see how it goes on once it's wet. That's the other thing, is I wanna paint it. While it's going on wet, you can kind of see how it would look if there was paint on it. Probably should be doing the whole car at once, but this is how I am doing it. I met with my auto body guy. He's in to help me out, so that's good if I can jam this thing for another week or so. Then maybe he'll come out and flatten it out whenever he has some time, and we'll get some real paint on it if I can find some. So, let's get you on the tripod. Well, would you look at that? So, honestly, not that bad. The spot I was worried about, which is right there, isn't too bad. So it's still probably a little soft for about half hour after I painted it. A few little spots there I didn't get quite as good in there as maybe I should have, but no big deal. Otherwise, I mean, the roof I think it's okay. I ended up getting a run back here because I'm an amateur. But I mean, it's still got a bit of sheen to it. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's passable. On this side, unfortunately, just at the very end, the little filter inside the gun kind of clogged up and it ended up blowing in a little dry, but I'm not too worried about it. But I mean, it looks decent. There was one little dent. Where was it? I saw it at one point. You can see it's kind of blown in dry a little bit there, unfortunately, but it's still pretty thick. This side looks pretty good. I'm happy with it all around the front and everything. Definitely good enough to sand. I mean, that's basically what that is. It's kind of like body filler in a can. So we're gonna leave the roof like that, let it harden up. We're gonna carry on the rest of the car sanding and all that sort of stuff. But that's really in this video for now. Get the stuff, get out there, get painting, do something on your own hot rod, right? So now I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna open the door, let it kind of air out in here, then crank the heat, let it go overnight. I gotta get the other garage because we're moving the Nova out, getting the wagon home, and we're gonna focus on that for a little bit. Well, between the two, because I just can't do nothing but body work. Sorry, if you're a diehard, want to watch me suffer, do body work, I'm gonna take a couple of breaks. But that's it for now. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and well, I'll see you in a couple days on a new video. Bye.